Ellie, I know that you and I are supposed to be getting married and all that, but my parents started thinking about your education, and they feel that something is very off about it now. Can you please explain to them something that'll get them to stop talking about it? My family is a family of doctors, right? Honestly, this is pretty embarrassing, being with an uneducated woman.
What? What are you going on about, Lance? Also, I went to a trade school after high school, right? I'm not embarrassed by anything about my education. And even if you are, I'm not going to do anything to change that now. And think that your parents should be smart enough to understand things aren't just about one's education. How about you just explain to them that I'm happy with the path I've chosen, and that should be enough. And by the way, I don't think my education has anything to do with you and I getting married.
Well, to my family and I, education plays a huge part in marriage. Do you understand what it means to be a family of doctors? That doesn't just mean that my parents are doctors, but that my whole entire family has something to do with the medical system. I work in one of their clinics right now, meaning that my family is very powerful, if I'm to be honest.
I've heard that story from you countless times now, Lance. I do think that your family is very amazing. But your family and mine are both very close to one another, and that's why we were able to meet one another in the first place, right? I totally understand all of that, and I really hope that you will too. So could you just forget about wanting me to explain to your parents my education, because they should already know about it?
So this is what they mean by uneducated. The timing of this has nothing to do with our marriage and families. My family's idea of you and the rest of your family is everything here. Which means you'd better start explaining things to them in a good way so that I'm not having to feel ashamed of myself.
Even if you're not happy with where I went to school, it's not like I'm able to change any of that now. So what do you want me to do here?
Can't you just go to them and say that that was all a lie or something? Tell them you graduated from a university. That's all I'm asking you to do in front of my parents.
And do you think that it's really a good idea for me to be lying to people who will very soon become my family? How about you just forget about what they've been saying and focus on our life together? Our education has nothing to do with what comes next. And if you can't seem to get your mind off it, then why didn't you choose to be with someone of a higher education in the first place?
Good point. There is some truth behind that.
If you're agreeing with that, I guess I have nothing left to say to you. Anyhow, there's no way for me to change my education for you now. And actually, you're not a doctor or anything, Lance. So do you really think there's much point to you constantly flaunting the fact that the rest of your family is?
Huh? I'm working inside a clinic right now, aren't I? And it's one of the many clinics that my family runs. What do you mean I can't flaunt that fact? We all know that that's something worth flaunting in front of everyone.
I'm not going to say anything else then, so let's just leave this be. We can talk about this some other time, perhaps when we next meet in person. I would really like for you to be telling your parents that something as superficial as education does not matter when it comes to love. But so far it doesn't seem you believe in what I'm saying to you either.
As for your marriage, everything seems to be going pretty well. Will you be all right, Ellie? I've been a little bit worried that you're feeling as though you're being forced to do things with their family now, so I'm wanting to make sure that's not really the case. If you don't want to have anything to do with them, just let me know, okay?
Uncle Victor, thank you for texting me tonight. Don't worry about the marriage. I'm not all that concerned about anything. However, there is this one thing that sort of caught my attention about Lance and his family. I just hope that deep down they are all really good people still. Either way, I've been waiting to get married myself for some time now, so this will be good for me.
Is that right? Well, as long as you're still feeling okay about everything. If something does come up, though, please let me know. After hearing about someone like Lance, I kind of feel bad that you've been set up to become his wife. He doesn't seem like the kind of man a woman can really count on. And since I'm like your parent, I need to make sure you end up with someone you're 100% okay with.
Saying something like that to me really warms my heart. Thank you, Uncle Victor. But you really don't have to be all that worried about me since I'm going into my 30s now and have been making things work in my favor thus far. And if I wasn't in love with Lance, then I'd never be able to marry him. So please don't feel as though I'm having to marry him for your sake or anything, okay? But of course, you do have one thing right about the guy. He does not feel like the kind of man I'm going to be able to rely on a whole lot when it comes to him being my husband.
How about the rest of his family? I'm pretty sure that most of his family is well aware of the fact that I'm in charge of one of the major hospitals in this state and that I'm not to be trifled with. But I don't think that Lance and his parents know anything about me. They haven't been making any false claims about you or anything recently.
So far, there hasn't really been anything like that. The only thing that's been a bit strange regarding them lately is their attachment to things like people's education. And it doesn't sound like they're a big fan of mine.
Do you want me to tell them to keep their mouths shut about all of that for you?
You don't have to go telling them that. You'll just be making things even more crazy and complex by doing that, and they would become a pain for you to have to deal with later on. So you can relax and stop worrying about all of it, please.
I don't mind having to go and do things like that for you, though, so if there really is some trouble with his parents, you let me know, and I'll handle them.
You've always been worried about me, huh? But thank you. I really appreciate it, Uncle Victor. Now you start looking forward to my wedding, okay? I don't want my uncle to be crying the whole time he's there, all right?
About today's wedding, it's canceled.
Excuse me? Lance, what are you talking about? Today's wedding is canceled. What does that mean?
You still don't fully get it, do ya? I had never planned on giving a wedding to everyone today in the first place.
What?
Who do you think would want to get married to a high school graduate like you? The talks about me getting married to you ended a long time ago, actually. Within my family, of course. Yet you never knew about that and prepared for a wedding that was never going to be taking place today? Uncool.
I'm not sure what all you're wanting me to say, but of course I prepared for my wedding today. And right now the wedding is being prepared for as all the guests should be arriving here soon. Why would you say something like that when there's no way someone in their right mind would cancel their wedding now?
Did you really think that as a high school graduate you'd be able to get married to someone like me?
What? I had assumed that you and I both agreed on getting married to one another, and that's why we're having this wedding today. That's why your family has been talking with me about the plans for our wedding and what we plan to do after getting married, right?
At first, right? But I am a part of a family of doctors. In my family, almost everyone is a doctor currently or has been one before. You really thought that a high school graduate like yourself could join us? Absolutely not happening. Were you not able to tell that from the start after my parents' reaction to you? Normally, everyone should have been able to take the hint, but perhaps because you never went to college or university, you don't know how to?
So in other words, you think that it's okay to treat another person like this all because they never went to college? Then that really means you're not coming to the wedding today. And your parents 100% agree with this?
Of course they are, since they were the ones that told me to cancel the wedding today.
Your parents said that? And you didn't even have anything to say about that, instead just complying with what they asked blindly?
You only graduated from high school and are a simple office worker. while all of my family are doctors, right? I shouldn't have to think of whose words to believe when the answer is already obvious.
You never really loved me from the start then, did you? The whole time you were going on about how you wanted to marry me and everything, yet now you're wanting this wedding to be canceled on the day of? You're an asshole, Lance. You should have told me your true feelings long before all of this happened. Then you would have been saving the both of us from having to deal with what comes next.
Be upset about this all you want. But in reality, you and I were never meant for one another, right? I understood that from the start, but you for some reason never did, and that's on you.
Did you forget that our families introduced us to one another at the start with the hopes that we'd get married? How do you plan to explain what you're doing now to the rest of them?
I'm sure that when my aunt and uncle were introducing me to you, they never knew about how you were nothing more than a high school graduate. They might have thought you were a stellar woman at first, but my parents and I have come to learn that that's false. I'm sure that when my parents explain to the rest of my family the truth, they'll all agree with the choices I've made.
So that's what you think? I guess no matter what I have to say now, you're not going to change your mind about canceling the wedding today.
You think I'd ever want to marry you? Did you really think that as a high school graduate, you'd be able to marry into a family of doctors? Don't make me laugh too hard now. I knew that you uneducated women were no match for a family of doctors. I'm calling off our engagement to one another so you can go ahead and cover the costs of that wedding yourself. Allow me to be the one to call things off for you. What? Who is this? I'm Ellie's uncle, and she's been allowing me to read through all the things you've been talking about this morning. In other words, the conclusion I've come to is that you want to cancel this wedding and no longer marry my niece? You want to end your relationship with my niece entirely? I can't believe her uncle would have to start texting me. I really have no idea what kind of a relationship you have with my aunt and uncle, but this family is filled with doctors. I don't care that you guys want me to get married to someone now, but you can't be serious asking me to marry a high school graduate like her. I think you guys should have been thinking about how well she would fit into my family first before introducing her to me. I suppose you're right. Right? I'm never wrong about anything. I should have introduced Ellie to you after I had gotten to know what kind of man you really were. Huh? Now what is that supposed to mean, old man? I've finally come to understand that it would be a waste watching my beautiful niece be married off to some trash like you. This marriage is no more, and you can go tell your aunt and uncle that I'm no longer willing to deal with them anymore. What do you mean you no longer want to deal with them? If you really have such an important relationship to them, then go tell them that yourself. Lance, this has all become your responsibility now, which means that you should be the one telling them the news, correct? Or are you, of all people, not aware of that? Also, make sure to tell your parents as well. Tell them that if they want to care so much about the education of others like it means everything to their life, then they should be taking better care of their clinics. Excuse me? And does any of what my parents do have anything to do with you? Well, not anymore now that I've learned what kind of people you are. Therefore, from now on, I don't want you ever talking to my niece again. Do you understand?
What do you want? I'm very busy at the moment, so make it quick.
You are not busy enough to be avoiding me! Answer your phone right now! I have something very important to talk with you about.
Well, I don't care to listen to any of that. So we're done talking now. Goodbye.
Hold the hell on, please! When I went and told my aunt about the fact that you and I would no longer be getting married, she flipped and started to dig into me badly. And ever since then, she's been saying things that make zero sense to me. That's why I need to talk with you and confirm a few things.
What do you mean she's been saying things that make zero sense to you? Are you talking about things like how my uncle happens to run the hospital that supervises all of your family's clinics around the city?
What? Then that means it's really true?
The reason you and I first met and that we wanted to get married is because of the relations my family had with yours. And had your parents and you just went and thought things through a bit more before making such rash decisions, then you wouldn't be in trouble with your aunt and uncle right now, and neither would your parents be. Well, it's not really worth saying all of that to you now, since everything is a thing of the past and can no longer be changed. You and that family of doctors you have are all over with now.
What? What do you mean we're over with now? What are you trying to say to me? What about this means my family is done with? I never thought that your uncle would turn out to be the owner of that large hospital which runs all of the clinics in this town. I had no clue about any of that at the beginning.
And that's very obvious based on the way you and your parents treated me. And I never wanted you to know anything about my uncle.
Huh?
Originally, I wanted things to take a bit more time before there were talks about you and I getting married. I wanted for you and your family to understand who my uncle was and who I am to my uncle before making any serious commitments. But before all of that, I wanted to also see how things played out between you and I. So I told my uncle and your aunt and uncle to hold off for a bit on telling you guys about their relations to one another. Yet before I could learn what kind of people you all really were, you asked for my hand in marriage and I just went along with it, thinking you guys were all right with the woman I am. And yet, just when I started to think things were becoming a bit strange between you and I, you told me on the day of to cancel the wedding. I'm really happy I never had to get married to you after figuring out the truth behind your parents and you. At first, I was kind of thinking being married to an idiot would be kind of fun, but now when I think back on it, our marriage would have been nothing but fighting and fake love.
So then that means from the start you knew about how becoming a part of my family would mean that your uncle would be more open to helping support my family's clinics financially?
I knew all about that. And don't make it sound like my uncle and his hospital has had nothing to do with your family's clinics, as his hospital was the one that helped start all of your family's clinics. So no, this marriage wasn't just about having my uncle help you guys out financially. He is obligated to help keep your clinics open since they're all part of his hospital in a way.
Wait, is that right?
I'm sure someone like you would never understand something like that, but not all of us are good at understanding basic structures. But didn't your parents at least know about all of this going on? Also, I think when my uncle was getting ready to start helping your parents' clinic out with the resources he had, they all got together and talked about how it would begin after our wedding. Which means your parents most definitely knew about that, right? I guess it doesn't matter now, though, since you guys are already done for.
Hold on a second. I didn't even know about how their clinic was starting to have financial troubles. So what you're telling me is that the reason for my parents' clinic bringing in more money lately is because of the marriage we were supposed to have?
The correct way of looking at it would be to say that it was because of my uncle. But that help's not coming anymore, so you and your family have the best of luck figuring something out there. All of that has nothing to do with me now.
Wait, that's not good at all for us. Do you think that you might be able to say something to your uncle about all of this? Can't you tell him that my parents and I had no clue me not marrying you would lead to all of this? And actually, we can go have that wedding now if you'd like to. Right now, my aunt is freaking pissed at me, and if nothing happens to change the fate of my parents' clinic soon, all of our family will become a laughingstock and I'll be royally screwed. It was only going to be a matter of time before my parents learned the truth about everything, so let's just go ahead and have that wedding now. Do you think we could take all of that conversation we had this morning and call it one massive joke or something?
Huh? What do you think you're talking about now? I would never even think about marrying you again while I still walk this earth.
What? Why not?
What all of you just said to me today and the things you and your parents were saying, you think I can just forget about all of that so easily and fall back in love with you? Are you an idiot? No, wait, you're mentally handicapped, aren't you? You guys made it very clear that you loved to make fun of me for my education. But I'm not just some high school graduate because I also went to a very expensive and well-renowned trade school. I never went to college or anything, but I was on a campus learning all sorts of things about my trade. And because of that, I am making hundreds of thousands more than a hospital worker like you makes a year.
Is that right? Huh? Do specialists like you really make that much money?
You always loved to act like you were this big shot that everyone had to listen to, Lance. Even though you've never been a nurse or a doctor and only work in a hospital because of your parents. All of you know that I may be just some office worker to you, but I'm working in the world of IT, and in that world there is more money than in the medical world. And when I was planning on getting married to you, I never had any cares about my husband making more than me or not. Honestly, I felt that things would have been just fine between you and I before you went and started to belittle me. But now you know the truth about me, and I hope that's changed your mind in some ways.
I didn't know that a high school graduate could be making that kind of money.
You're still calling me a high school graduate? After everything I just explained to you there? I guess you are mentally handicapped, like was said before, so let me make this simple. Me no high school graduate. Me trade school graduate. There. Hopefully that clears things up for you now. And if not, then perhaps your problem has less to do with your brain and more to do with your eyes and ears. Which in that case, I can't really help you much. I'm not going to be getting married to you anymore, so none of your problems are going to bother me any. The only ones who will have to start worrying now will be you and your family of doctors you brag about so much. Good luck helping your family try and keep all their clinics afloat, okay? No, wait. You won't have anything to do with all of that, actually. All you've ever been is a paper pusher for that hospital, right?
Are you making fun of me right now? Me, who comes from a family of doctors?
I think you shouldn't be saying that until you yourself have become a doctor, all right? I'm not trying to pick on the doctors and nurses that go out and save lives every day, like your family members do. But when it comes to you, the only thing you're ever doing is stapling papers together for the hospital and getting coffee for your boss, right? I don't believe that just because there are some doctors in your family that you yourself can be seen as powerful as they all are.
Don't make fun of the healthcare system!
I just said I'm not. Oh wait, you can't understand that. Oh well. I don't have the time or energy to put every single thing I say into dumbass for you today, so you're better off just getting yourself an interpreter or something. Maybe one of your parents. I really do wonder why I ever thought it would be all right getting married to you. What a mystery that is, and I hope one day I can come to understand it. Anywho, it seems that your family's clinic is going to be in some hot water here soon, but just try your best to support your parents and family through it.
What? So, what about you and I getting married? I could have the wedding tomorrow if you're all right with that. It's already too late now to have the wedding today since it was canceled, but my parents are both wanting us to get married as soon as possible, and And, well, I've finally come to realize that if it's for the sake of my family, I'm willing to marry a high school graduate like you.
Wait, what? We're not getting married, buddy.
What? What do you mean?
Are you sure you're okay there? I've been telling you this whole time I have no reason to marry you anymore, and I never will even think about it again. Tell me, why would someone like myself ever want to be married to you? How about instead of thinking about marrying me now, you think about all the horrible things you've said to me recently and then think about how they hurt my feelings?
Wait, so this really means you're not going to marry me?
I really thought I was doing a good job of making that clear to you.
Then what's going to happen to my parents' clinic? What about the financial support your uncle was going to give us?
And like I was saying, the moment you called our marriage off, my uncle called those talks off. Lance, is there a problem right now?
No. All there are is problems now. What are you talking about, Ellie? I thought that based on the way this conversation was going, you were getting ready to make up with me and get back to wanting to marry me, right? I already apologized for having today's wedding canceled last minute, right?
Wait, so that's what your problem is? You're just delusional on a scale that most mental health workers have never seen before. If that's the case, then there really is no helping you here, Lance. Because what you're thinking happened has not been happening this whole time. You never apologized to me. And even if you had, it wouldn't change the way I think of you now.
I'm sorry. I'll come and apologize on my hands and knees if I have to. If you guys don't help us, my parents will lose their clinic. And what about the rest of my family? They might end up losing theirs as well.
I'm not really interested in listening to all of your self-centered talk anymore. I think that both yourself and your parents all suffer from something that has not yet been diagnosed before. Perhaps the three of you could come to my uncle's hospital and see what his professionals think. Also, what was that about you sticking me up on the day of our wedding and then asking for me to pay for it all? I'm not paying for a wedding you canceled. You and your family pay for that yourselves. And if you don't, I'll make sure to get the money from you in court. And don't forget about the settlement I plan to get from you for ruining the wedding and my chance of marriage. Your family and the clinics they all run will have a very difficult road ahead of them soon. Just try your best, okay?
Wait a second, what money are you talking about? You're lying, right? I don't have the money to pay for that wedding and a settlement.
Then go ask your parents, who are doctors, to pay for you. Well, because of you, they're all about to lose all of that money, so I'm not too sure they'll want to give you any money. Anyway, good luck to you in that paper-pushing job you have. I hope someday you can live up to the expectations of your family and become a doctor or something. Although I don't think anyone will accept a doctor with the mental struggles you've been having. Thank you for opening my eyes to the kind of people you all are before we tied the knot. Uncle Victor, today was a real struggle, and I'm very sorry about that.
What are you talking about? This is not something you should be apologizing to me for. I am disappointed in that family. Every single one of them is a disgrace. Since they all seem to think they can just judge others based on their education, I'll show them that this world doesn't care about things like that. Ellie, I'm so sorry for introducing you to a trashy kid like that.
This was not your fault, Uncle Victor. This happened because of my inability to realize the truth about them. And I was the one who agreed to marrying Lance. But the fact that you stepped in the end there to get upset at all of them made me really happy. Actually, it felt like my dad had come back to protect me for a bit there.
When he had passed away, I felt like I had some very big shoes to step into taking care of you. I'm happy to hear that parts of me have resembled him. And even now, I hope that I continue to be like a good father figure. Let's start to forget about what all happened this time. I'll make sure to put an end to that family so that you never have to think about them again.
I'm so happy you feel that way. Thank you so much, Uncle Victor. I'm going to work on forgetting what happened here and looking forward to my future again. And from now on, I'll make sure to talk with you about anything I have going on and ask for your help when needed.
I hope you do. And when you do come to me for help or to talk, I'll make sure I'm even more helpful then.
Thank you for always worrying about me, Uncle Victor. After that, without the help of my uncle and his hospital's money, Lance's parents' clinic started to fall into bankruptcy, and my uncle ended up taking the clinic from them outright with little to no money given to them. My uncle then made sure to do some major restructuring of the clinic and fired Lance from his hospital and both of his parents from that clinic in the process. After that happened, I started to get more and more texts from Lance as well as calls, but I made sure to ignore every single one of them. I've already found someone new in my life, and we're on track to becoming a very serious couple. One that I feel a lot more comfortable with, and one where we'll be wanting to get married in the next year or two. I think when I do get married, I'll be able to completely forget about what happened between Lance and I, and will no longer have to think about the importance of my educational background either. Honestly, I have to say that I'm thankful for what Lance did in the end there by canceling the wedding last minute, because I was so close to being married to one of the most mentally unwell people around. I would have hated to have to deal with all of his wild episodes had I really become his wife. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Hey, I cleaned your room because Chloe is coming home to give birth.
Hi, Mom. What? When? Why didn't you tell me that?
She didn't text you?
Of course not. You know how we are, right? We literally hate each other. When is she coming, by the way?
Well, now you know. She's coming in like a week or so. Why don't you talk to each other and make up? This could be a great opportunity, you know?
Absolutely not. What benefits do I have if we get along? Nothing.
Maybe she's changed because she's going to be a mother.
I doubt that.
Just to let you know, she's going to stay in your room, okay? I moved your stuff into the smaller room.
Don't touch my stuff without asking me. Why my room? You know it's my favorite room in the house, right?
Your room is close to our room and bathroom, plus has good ventilation. You're going to help me take care of her, right? You're going to be next door.
Oh, so she's going to get the princess treatment? I won't be able to sleep. I bet she'll make me do something all night.
Come on. You're her big sister and a new family member is going to be joining.
So it's annoying how you always favor her over me.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. I think it's going to be a waste talking about it because I have too much to say about that. Anyways, I'm going to head home in a little bit, so do not, I repeat, do not touch any of my stuff. And fine, I'll give up my room because you probably won't listen to me even if I say no. I'll finish cleaning my room when I get home.
Maria, I heard from Mom that you don't want me to come home.
Yeah, because I literally hate you and I'm pissed that you're taking my room. Plus, aren't you still 4 months pregnant? People usually go home during their 3rd trimester, you know.
So what? I can go home if I want to. So excited to get the big room because I'm a princess unlike you who works in a factory. So embarrassing to be related to you.
What's wrong with it? At least I have a full-time job. You only work part-time, so shut your mouth.
Yeah, a job that's a lot cleaner than yours.
But we use our brain and skills.
Who cares about that? Looks matter more than skills.
Are we seriously going to argue about this?
I can argue all day if you want to.
Oh my gosh. I might go bald because of stress. Just tell me when you're going to leave. Then I can think about how to deal with the stress while you're here.
Leave? I'm going to be living there. If you have a problem with that, why don't you leave the house? You're 35. You should be married and have kids. Aren't you embarrassed?
Not at all. There are celebrities who are single and age should not matter.
If I were you, I would start looking for someone.
I'm not you, though.
I'm embarrassed and I don't want to live with you, so I'm going to kick you out when I get there.
Why?
I don't want people to see that we're related and you work at a factory, right? You're probably full of germs, so I don't want you to come near me or my child after I give birth.
Germs? I'm pretty sure there are a lot more germs in this house.
Yeah, whatever. I will sanitize you like hell when I get there. Oh, wait. I don't need to do that because I'm kicking you out. Maybe you should start looking for a new place. I'll live happily here with Mom and Dad for you.
Wow, I thought you changed because you're going to be a mom, but I guess not.
Sorry, but this is me. I can't wait to move in starting next week. Hey, I don't know where you are, but I threw out all your stuff in your room besides your suitcase and the boxes because it was mostly trash and cheap-ass clothes.
What? Without my permission? I told you a million times to not touch my stuff.
You didn't reply, so I thought it was okay. I helped Mom even though I'm pregnant, so please thank me.
I'm at work right now, plus I didn't reply for only 30 minutes. Couldn't you wait?
I usually don't wait because it's a waste of time.
What a bitch! Also, why would I thank you? Do you think that there's an idiot who thanks someone if their stuff gets thrown away without their permission?
I'm pretty sure you should be thanking me because now you don't need to waste your time packing your stuff. What I regret is not tying the garbage bag tightly. I hope the garbage man doesn't catch anything. I also sanitized the hell out of your room.
If he does get something, maybe it's from you because I heard from Mom that you wear the same clothes at least 2 to 3 times per week and do laundry every 10 days.
I'm not dirty and I don't sweat like a pig like you, so it's fine.
Even though you're clean and don't sweat, a lot of germs get on your clothes, so why don't you sanitize yourself also? Don't over-disinfect though, it's toxic and can put your health at risk. I know this because I sanitize the tools at the factory every day and people warned me about it.
Yeah, whatever. The air will be a lot cleaner and my kid will not end up getting a weird virus.
I warned you, but it seems like you don't care at all.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit. Can you come home and get the hell out of here?
I actually moved out already. I overheard the conversation between you and Mom already, yesterday. That if I don't move my stuff out, the next day you guys will throw it away. I didn't want that to happen. The moving company is going to be there in about 20 minutes to take care of all of my things, so don't worry, I left my house key in the mailbox.
Thank you so much for moving out. Oh, and you heard it? Damn. I wish you didn't because I bought popcorn yesterday and wanted to eat it while seeing your shocked face.
Well, too bad you couldn't see it. Can I say one thing before I move out? You shouldn't talk shit about people's jobs because some people take pride in their jobs like I do. And also you might lose friends because of that.
So what? People like that aren't my real friend anyway.
You must have a really sad life. I feel so bad for you.
Don't, because I have my husband and Mom and Dad. So, now that you're a stranger, can you leave us alone?
Sure. I'm actually happy to leave because I don't want to be part of this family.
You don't need to act tough. I know you're crying right now.
I'm actually pissed because Mom and Dad also want to kick me out even though I did a lot for them.
That just means that they love me more than you. Sorry, but you could never win against me.
You guys will probably face problems, so good luck with that.
What kind of problems?
You'll see. I'm not going to help you guys because I'm a stranger now, right? I'll cut ties with all of you and start a new life.
Please, go ahead. Don't try to call us if you need help either, okay?
There are only good people around me, so I should be okay.
Where are you? Why aren't you picking up? Mom is calling you also. Are you going to ignore your family?
What family? Didn't she say that I'm a stranger now and have no problem cutting ties? Should I send you that screenshot?
I take that back.
What the hell do you want?
What's happening? The real estate agency just came and said that we're going to get evicted from the house. Mom and Dad are panicking too.
I sold the house, that's why. You guys need to leave within 7 to 10 days, I think. Why are they panicking? They should know that I'm the owner of the house.
Wait, what? I'm so confused right now.
Did I say something confusing? I'm the owner of the house, so I have the right to do whatever I want. So I put the house up for sale as soon as I left. Because why would I continue to live there if I'm not allowed in? If you want to still live there, please pay for it. It's a pretty good amount, though.
I don't believe you. I know you're lying.
Why would I lie about this? If you don't believe me, why don't you ask them?
That's exactly what I'm going to do from now. Mom and Dad are in debt?
A few minutes later. Yes! They spent all of their money on stocks but failed, so you'll be paying for everything if you want to live there because they can't pay even a penny.
Why me? So, you were paying for everything?
Yep. I moved in the house 4 years ago to support them because they had no money and couldn't do anything on their own. So now that I'm gone, it's your responsibility now.
Why didn't they tell me about this?
They probably pretended to be good parents in front of you so that you wouldn't hate them so much because they love you more than me. I mean, I was going to tell you, but you probably won't listen to me, so I didn't.
Oh my god. What should I do?
Why don't you think about that by yourself? Don't you dare ask me for help.
You don't need to be so mean.
Mean? You were mean to me this whole time. Sorry, but can I go now? I'm talking to my fiance right now about living together.
What? Fiance? Seriously? Why didn't you tell me?
Why do I need to tell you?
He's probably trash, so dump him and come back.
You're just saying that because you can't pay for the house, right?
To be honest, yes. Because I'm only a part-time worker, so please don't sell this house and come back.
Sorry, but it's too late now, so deal with it by yourself, okay? I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you what I actually do at my job.
Don't you just make things and scrub tools?
Nope. I'm a factory engineer, and I make way more money than you can imagine. This is why I was able to live and pay for that house. Can you make fun of me now?
Look, I'm sorry. I'll apologize, okay? We have nowhere to go.
I know that because your husband, ex-husband now, called me and told me some interesting facts about all of you. So you cheated on him with his best friend and got divorced and kicked out of the house. But since you had no money, you decided to come here, right? Also, the reason Mom and Dad didn't need me anymore was because they were relying on your husband's salary, right? I feel so bad for him.
Hey, I only cheated once and it's because I was sad, so it's his fault. What are you talking about me having no money? I earn money too.
He said you used almost all of it to buy expensive makeup and clothes instead of paying for other payments. He also told me that Mom and Dad asked if it's okay to borrow money to buy stocks yesterday. Wow, I have no words to say right now.
Wait, do Mom and Dad know that I got divorced?
Probably. Even if they don't, they're gonna find out about it. Anyways, you guys need to leave the house soon. You should start looking for places. Good luck with that!
What the hell? We got kicked out of the house!
I told you. Did you find a new place to live?
Yes. Oh, it's a crummy little apartment with only 2 rooms.
Good to hear. Hey, at least it has 2 rooms. Stop complaining.
Maria, we're sisters, right? Aren't sisters supposed to help each other?
Why do I need to help you? You treated me like trash and even kicked me out of my own house and called me a stranger.
Something was up with me at the time. We're in trouble now, so can you help us? Can you buy us a nice apartment? You have money, right?
Absolutely not. Didn't I say that I'm no longer a part of the family and I'm not going to help you?
I don't want to live here!
At least your child is safe from the germs I have, right? I have a feeling that the apartment has some new kind of germs, though. Ew. I don't even want to think about it. But you can live happily with Mom and Dad, like you said, though. Good for you. I started to live in a new apartment with my fiancé since I had money from selling the house and savings. I thought that Chloe's child was innocent and didn't deserve a crappy life, so I sent her some money for support. Mom and Dad ran away somewhere and I lost contact with them, so I decided to forget about them because I really didn't care. Maybe they're somewhere praying for Chloe's birth. Who knows?
Hey, Mike, it's been a while, but you still remember me, right?
Oh, sorry. I don't think I have this number saved. Who are you again?
Are you kidding me, man? You don't have my number saved? I knew who you were right away when I saw your face. Anyway, this is Dave from school. You really don't remember me?
You've seen me around recently? I really don't think I remember running into you at all.
Well, surely you remember me making you my slave in school, right? I mean, I did it all for your sake, of course. You were such a little wimp, so I took you under my wing to toughen you up. But wow, it's been ages since then. So, what have you been up to this whole time?
Well, today is our class reunion, isn't it?
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna mention that. So then, you got an invitation to that too? Because you know that you just can't be breaking into this place without an invitation, don't ya? I certainly don't hope that you're not here uninvited.
I didn't sneak into anything if that's what you're implying. We're all classmates, so of course I have my invitation. Sorry, is there a point to this conversation, or are we through?
Hey, come on, what kind of way is that to talk to such an old friend of yours? I just want to catch up is all. Besides, I don't have anyone else to talk to here, so can't we just put the past behind us and just be friends again? You can start by going out and buying me a pack of cigarettes from the corner store across the street. Your treat, of course.
I just want to let you know that I do remember you now, and you really haven't changed at all, have you?
And just who the heck do you think you are talking to me like that, huh? I remember back when I had you working for me back in our school days, I used to make you call me sir. So why don't you get back to it, huh?
You really think that you're going to make me call you sir? You can't be serious.
Listen here, buddy, do you even know what it is that I do for a living? I'm the face of one of the largest firms in our country. But that's just during the day. At nights, I just roll with the toughest crowds in the street.
Wow, you sound like something straight out of a comic book, to be honest.
That's right. If you don't want to end up as just another background character in my story, then you'll check your attitude and do as I say. You really don't want to have me as an enemy. Everyone who's ever gone against me has ended up on their knees begging for their mercy, but I never showed any. So, what do you think? Are you scared right now, shaking in your boots?
Yeah, I'm quivering with fear.
That's what I thought. If that's the case, then you should go out and buy me those cigs. If you keep on waiting any longer, let's just say that you're gonna be responsible for whatever I do next. You really don't want to have that on your conscience, do you? You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Actually, David, how about you just go and buy your own cigs, huh? And quit bugging people at the reunion like this.
Did you not just read a single word that I sent you? I told you that you were my slave back when we were students, and you still are! Are you trying to get me to fight you or something?
Alright, I guess I have no choice but to go and get them.
That's more like it! And next time, just do what I say without arguing, got it?
Hey boss, where did you run off to? The class reunion is still going on and I don't see you anywhere.
Oh yeah, really sorry about that. I just ran out to get some snacks and drinks for everyone.
But I saw that you bought cigarettes too, right? I didn't know that you smoked. And why did you only buy 2 packs?
Tina, did you really see me buy those?
I just don't get it. You don't smoke, so what are you buying those things for? Not only that, but even though we're in the middle of such a fun party, you looked so upset from what I could see through the store window. I can really only think of one explanation for all of this. You're being used as an errand boy by someone, aren't you?
Wow, how did you put all that together? You're like Sherlock Holmes or something.
Well, the answer to that is quite elementary. I guessed it all because you bought 2 packs. Even granting that you had taken up the habit, I guessed that you would still be new to it and would only be buying 1 pack at a time. But if you happened to be sent by someone else to buy them, then it makes more sense that you would buy 2 so you don't get sent to go buy any more. Does that sound about right?
Okay, that's actually just a little bit freaky how you can do that.
I'm curious though, boss. Is it David? You do realize that he belongs to one of our subsidiaries, right? You don't have to take that kind of abuse from him.
I know that, but I would never lower myself just to get some petty revenge on him. And I'm sorry, but just what were you doing outside the corner store that I was in?
Oh, no, that really was just a coincidence. I happened to step outside of the party to get some fresh air and walk around, and I happened to see you walking into the store. But I don't get why you won't fight back against David. You could probably put an end to his antics if you did.
I appreciate the concern, but I would really rather just settle things like this without having to rock the boat too much. Besides, I really don't want to be fighting with someone who works for me at an event like this.
Well, sure, but why does he do this to you? Did something happen while you were both students?
Yeah, David used to boss me around all the time and was always having me do things for him. I had hoped that after all this time he would have matured a bit more, but he really is the same jerk he's always been.
Well, that's all the more reason to just ignore him when he talks to you that way.
I know, but he seems to be comfortable talking about the fact that he's got some friends in pretty low places, and is always threatening to get violent. I don't want that, and I don't want anyone else getting sucked into that. It's just more peaceful to do it this way. I hope this convinces you that I know what I'm doing when it comes to this guy.
Well, I understand the situation a bit more. But are you telling me that you really don't hate David for what he's doing?
It's not that I don't dislike the guy, but we're at a party and I want people to be able to enjoy themselves. I mean it when I say that I have patience to wait this out. Things are gonna be fine, okay?
Well, if you say so, then I guess I won't say any more. But that doesn't mean that I agree with it.
That's okay. I appreciate your understanding. Let's just try and make sure nothing happens to spoil the reunion, okay?
Hey, you jerk! You've got some nerve, you know that? How dare you try and feel up my wife? What the hell is the matter with you?
Feel her up? I wasn't doing anything like that at all. I was just helping her get up the stairs is all.
She was holding onto your arm. I saw it! You really are just scum, you know that? You think my wife isn't able to get up some stairs on her own?
No, it isn't that, but she's pregnant, right? When I came by and offered my arm to her, she said that she was really grateful anyone came along to help her.
I don't care what excuses you have, you laid a hand on my Sandy. You have no idea the kind of enemy that you just made.
Wait, David, please, just talk to your wife and ask her what happened. I'm sure she'll explain everything. I swear that I only helped her climb the stairs, and that was it. Please calm down.
You don't get to tell me to calm down, you homewrecker. I'm not going to let you get away with this. You'll pay. I'll make you pay.
I just can't catch a break with you. Have you actually lost your mind, David? You kicked me. That's assault. Don't you realize what you've done?
Oh shoot, did I leave you alive? I was hoping that after you fell down all those stairs that you at least wouldn't be waking up for a good long while.
You didn't even have the guts to look me in the eye when you attacked. You chose to come at me from behind.
You're saying you don't think I'm tough enough to take you? Just why would I waste any energy on a guy like you who made a pass at my wife?
For the last time, I was only helping her to get up the stairs. I'm sure she's explained what happened to you already, right?
You listen here. I don't want you coming near us ever again, got it? Do it again and there'll be an even worse punishment in store for you. And I won't stop pounding you until you've learned your lesson. Next time you come near my wife, I'll kick your teeth in. I don't care if we go way back, nobody touches my wife but me!
You won't get away with this. I will make you pay.
You wish. I can't believe you, man. Who do you think you are coming to my house, huh? Did you not get enough of me last time?
You said you were friends with criminals, right? Why don't you go ahead and get your gang and come at me?
Wait, what? You mean that you want me to bring my whole crew to come against you solo? You just wait right there, you little punk. Wait, hold on. Are you here with your own crew?
What do you mean? What crew?
I mean, who are all these people that just showed up at my house? What the heck are all these people doing here?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but just come outside. We have lots to talk about what you did yesterday.
There's no way I'm gonna go outside right now. You brought a whole freaking army with you.
An army? These aren't just some random thugs. I've interviewed all these guys.
Interviews? What are you talking about, man? You interviewed all these guys just to come and get your revenge?
Can you calm down already? All these people are employees at my company. I had another employee of mine at the reunion who watched what happened and refused to let this slide. What kind of company are you running where you have so many buff, scary-looking guys? Well, I own my own construction company, so I think you understand why I look for people that can handle that kind of work, of course. But why do you have to bring them all to my house? Why can't you just bring someone from, like, accounting or something? I really didn't bring these guys with me. But that one employee who saw what you did to me insisted that I have some people with me if I go talk to you. They all came with me of their own volition. Well, I still can't just walk outside. You need to tell your cronies to get lost or else I'll call the police. The police? Why would you call them? Why not just call your crew over here? What's that supposed to mean? I mean that you're always talking about how you run with a pretty tough crowd, right? So then don't bother calling the cops, just call your boys and let's settle this. How does that sound? No, I can't do that. I mean, what kind of gangster is gonna run to the police when they have perfectly healthy cronies? Look, all I want to do is have a little talk, and pretend like all the people aren't even here. What kind of Godfather way is that to go about this? You think we can talk like this? I don't want to get my kneecaps broken. Look, just come out here and we'll talk, okay? You can pay for the medical bills or I'll sue you. How does that sound? You can't really expect me to go outside, do you? I can hear some voices coming from inside your house. Is that Sandy? It sounds like the two of you are fighting about something. I told you to keep my wife's name out your freaking mouth! You don't need to concern yourself about anything going on inside here, okay? Well, you can say that all you want, but we are still old classmates, and it's not like she's a total stranger. Oh wait, Sandy's coming out of the house right now. Hey, what the heck are the two of you talking about? Well, she came out to apologize for what you did to me yesterday. This is just sad, David. Your wife has nothing to do with this, and she's coming out and apologizing for you. Oh, she just said she wants to go into town. I wonder where she's going. This is all your fault. You did this. She told me that she was going to her parents' house and she was walking out the door. I think she might be wanting to get a divorce now. You ruined my marriage. And just how is any of this my fault? You were the one who acted like a complete idiot yesterday. Shut up! Just shut up! You turned her against me! She was never gonna do this to me until you came along! Oh, give me a break. You know that's not what happened. All I did was help your pregnant wife get up some stairs. And just where were you? Isn't that your job to be there for her? How could you just leave your poor pregnant wife to get around by herself like that? But I had no idea that she was having trouble getting around. But of course if I knew, I would have helped her. I'm not that bad of a husband, right? And just why did you feel the need to kick me down the stairs like that? If you wanted to be a good husband, then the least you could have done was confront me and talk to me like an actual adult. If you get divorced, then you will only have yourself to be blamed. But you used to be my slave! How dare you talk to me like this? If you have something to say about it, then why don't you come out and face me like a man? Call your boys or not, I really don't care anymore. No, I've had enough of this! Just go home! You've already done enough damage already! You don't have any connections to any kind of gangs at all, do you? You just shut up! You know what everyone was talking about behind your back at the reunion, right? They were all saying that you're just a giant man-child. I mean, do you think that anyone really believes you have gang connections? You've never once said the name of the gang or given any specifics. You mean that everyone was really talking about me like that? Of course they were. Are you starting to get the picture about how people really feel about you? Don't you dare talk to me like this, you little punk! You're hated by all your classmates. You drove your own wife away, and now you're going to be fired. How does that make you feel? I assume you've heard of my company, Terra Construction, right? Wait, your company is Terra? But that's the company that my job is working with. That's right, although I know that in your company, you're not really tied to the project in it anyway. But I'm afraid that I still can't abide by working with a company that allows their employees to go around assaulting people. So consider this my way of telling you that you're going to be fired. Wait, no, please, you gotta forgive me! I had no idea that you worked for Terra at all! Sorry, I think you misunderstood. I don't work for Terra Construction, I own and run it. Then please, you have to talk to my company and convince them to keep me on! You're right, I lied about knowing all those gang members, I'm sorry, please forgive me! I'm sorry, but I've already filed my complaint with your work. Begging me won't do anything for you now. You're kidding me! How could you do that?! Anyways, I guess I'll just go home. I've already said what I came here to say to you. Please don't ever contact me again. You jerk! Ugh, I'm in so much pain. What did you do? I really didn't think that you were gonna try and attack me from behind again, and with a metal pipe in your hand no less. Just what were you gonna try and do to me with that, huh? What do you mean? Just who are you? You know, after we both finished school, I decided that I was tired of being your whipping boy. After graduation, I started taking judo classes as a way to help me build up my self-confidence. Now I actually teach classes in my spare time. I guess you could say that I've gotten pretty good at it. You learned judo because I was bullying you? That's right, and judo has more than prepared me for attacks from behind. I knew that you were coming up from behind me even at the class reunion. You've gotta be kidding me! You're supposed to be a weakling! Oh, I was. I can certainly admit that. In fact, even these days, I never go out looking for excuses to use my judo on people. Unlike you, I don't find joy in acting violently toward people and forcing them to obey me. I guess I just grew up and you didn't. Fine, you win, okay? I'm so sorry for everything. Now can you please just help me? I was gonna throw you down the stairs again, but now I'm stuck at the bottom. I've fallen and I can't get up! Oh, maybe you should try calling on your wife for help. Oh, wait. After that, I called the police, reported David's attempted assault, and waited at the top of the stairs where I threw David down for them to arrive. I explained that I acted in self-defense, pointing to the pipe that David was carrying as evidence. We agreed to settle things out of court, and he had to pay quite a bit before I agreed not to sue him. He also ended up divorcing his wife and had to pay her an alimony as well. I can't imagine it was fun having to lose so much money after just being fired from your job, but he can't really blame anyone but himself. Thankfully, I was able to continue my business with David's old company as they agreed to fire him, and our joint project is soon to be completed.